We're supposed to.
Zach, please bring us into the conversation. Let's have our guests come on.
Yeah, so One Life Church in Michigan and their ministry to save children, One Life for Life, were equipped at End Abortion Now when we had the conference here, and since then they have been extremely active and faithful in their ministry in Flint at their local abortion mill and saving children and bringing the gospel to that place. But we have here on the radio show with us one of the men that's actually out there from open to close every day.
Wow.
And they're seeing the Lord has blessed them with a ton of fruit out there. His name is Justin Phillips, and then he's joining us with his pastor, also Eric Stewart, and I've seen Eric out there too. I've seen the video footage of him, out there ministering at the clinic, also having the support too. So recently, maybe they can bring us into a little bit more of the details, but there was something issued against Justin as an infraction for being there constantly in the presence, confronting, the people going in, the abortionists, calling out to them, essentially, preaching the gospel, doing all that. So we have them here with us. Guys, are you with us still?
Yeah. What's up, guys?
All right. Thanks so much for coming on, guys.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
So bring us into what's going on, Justin, in terms of maybe talk just a little bit about how the ministry has been going. I think you guys have seen, are we in the 60s now in terms of children saved?
No, it's 77.
Yes!
77.
Praise God.
77 children saved. You guys hear that? Are you listening right now? I know you guys in the live stream. Did you just hear that? 77 human beings alive today because of what God is doing through this ministry. Praise God for what God's doing in Michigan.
Absolutely amazing. So something happened recently, Justin. Do you want to bring us into just, what transpired, what you guys are doing right now to combat it? Can you take us into that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So we've been there. So the conference, End Abortion Now conference, was last May. And we got back on Saturday, and then that Monday we landed at the mill basically, and we've been there ever since.
Every hour they've been open.
Yeah, every hour they've been open since then, and so I guess like 15, 16 months or something like that. And from the beginning, so it's a strip mall. So picture a strip mall, and then in the corner of the strip mall there's a abortion mill. And there's $2 stores and a Chase Bank, and so there's a lot of people coming and going. But from the beginning, the manager of the abortion mill had a letter from the landlord saying basically we can't be on his property at all. Mm-hmm. So from the beginning, we've been on the grass, like this little grass between the road and the parking lot. Well, recently, about maybe a month and a half ago, the whole plaza sold. So now that letter is null and void, right? So now I can go to the dollar store and I can walk out into the parking lot a little bit, or I can, if a mom says I can go hand her a bag, I walk over to her and give her a bag and talk to her and share the gospel with her. And and Peggy, the manager, does not like this at all. And so the other week I was going to the dollar store after they closed. And she came over and took a picture of my license plate, my car and stuff, and then she walked back to her car, and then she turned around and started recording and saying, "Go away from me, you're scaring me," and all these things. And I was like, "Hey, I'm just going to the dollar store." And so I just went to the dollar store, but that was her. So then she filed a restraining order, a stalking PPO it's called.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. So I haven't been in the mill since this week.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
you have been going elsewhere, right?
Just had his GoPro on that whole time. So you can actually see her approach him, record the video, and then once she flips her video camera on, her acting job that she tries to pull off. So
I imagine you probably have a court date set to argue this before the local judge, correct?
Yes, it's October 29th is the hearing to have it terminated.
Yes. Okay. So we have until October 29th, so you can have your day in court to demonstrate. So I imagine you're going to be bringing that video evidence in.
Yes, yeah, and then we have a lot of video of her coming over and yelling and cussing and screaming at us, and we've never threatened, or I've never even seen her outside of the abortion clinic. That's the only place I see her, and I'm at the abortion clinic not because she's there, but because they're killing babies in there. It doesn't matter if she's there or not.
Of course. Oh, boys, we'll be praying
Wow.
for you. And man, do we praise God for your ministry. Can I just point something out to everyone that I think is just, it's encouraging to me. EndAbortionNow.com is a ministry of Apologia Church. So our church body, this is our ministry to equip other churches and to go out and to try to end abortion ourselves, of course. But you know what I love is that here we have this team of believers in Michigan who have their own ministry.
Yep.
We're not setting up franchises.
Right.
This is their effort before God with their community of believers. It's their labor. It's their work. Of course, End Abortion Now has loved and equipped and encouraged them, but this is their ministry. So I would like to just talk about that for a minute, guys. Can you just introduce everybody to how this became a reality for you guys? How did you start doing this? And can you just get us up to speed with that? Because 77 children alive today because of this ministry. People need to hear about this story and really how you were shaped and how they could do it themselves.
Yeah, I think I'll start, and then Justin, you can carry it on from the conference. So, like, I've been involved with pregnancy centers and things like that for years, quote unquote pro-life movement, and throughout that time, I just began to realize, like, man, we've invested a ton of money, and we have really sweet people there, and a lot of them really have a heart for trying to save children. But at the end of the day, there's very few abortion-minded women coming there, and so I started getting really burdened with that. I was like, man, something more has to be done. There has to be something more we can do to really reach people rather than just waiting for them to come to us, because they're not coming. And I just began like really searching and seeking like what more could we do. And that's when I actually came across Apologia Radio, came across your podcast, some of your videos, and started seeing what you guys were doing outside of the abortion clinic. And to be honest, when I first saw it, I was like, man, that's crazy. I'll never do anything like that. Like, that's really intense. You know, that's crazy. But
That's what I thought too.
yeah. So we're in the same boat. But as time went on, it came to a point where I was like, man, that is right. Like, if we were back in the slave trade again, would we not want Christians to go to the point of injustice, say, no, don't do this.
Right.
Stop this.
Right.
And man, that just hit me. So I started casting a vision at our church, and we're a church plant. Like, we're 4 years from our start date. Like, when we launched this ministry, we were less than 100 people at that time. We've grown a little since then, but so I started casting this vision to our church that, like, we not only need to own this, but we need to own this in every way. And I casted a vision to, like, support people financially to do this, so they could leave work and make this their exclusive ministry.
Wow.
From the support of us. So I think that year it was somewhere around 30% of our budget went strictly to go out onto
Praise God.
save babies, which was pretty cool.
Yes.
And so a big part of that strategy, we had two guys. One of them was Justin, and then we sent them out to End Abortion Now conference. And maybe Justin, you could pick it up from there.
Yeah. So then when we got back, we just thought that, well, we'll be at the mill, and we were there every hour, and God showed us in much encouragement that that's what He wanted us to do, and because we figured we wanted to end this now, right? End abortion now. So what's the only way we know how right now to raise the level to bring the intensity and the focus to this issue that's going on, and we should be there when they're open. And we've had a lot of encouragement, and in the beginning, we had moms, number of them, come over crying and said, "Where were you 2 months ago? I was here and I had an abortion and no one was out here."
Oh.
Or we had one mom that she drove an hour and a half, or rode a bus for an hour and a half back to the mill, and she went in to she just wanted a picture of the ultrasound of her baby, but they wouldn't give it to her, and she came over crying to us like, "I wish you were here 4 months ago." And this mill, we've been there till midnight. They've been killing babies till midnight there.
Oh my goodness.
And they do it all in these weird off hours and stuff like that. So when we figured that place is open, Christians, we need to be outside of there to offer help and to proclaim the gospel. And God's blessed that and really granted us the strength and encouragement and endurance in that. But and that's what we want to spread across to every abortion mill in this country, that we have Christians outside of there, the whole time they're open, and then that will raise the national attention.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to make a decision as a country. And these Christians, they're out there you can't go to the abortion clinic anywhere in the country without Christians being there, and so then that will raise attention to it, I think.
Oh man, praise God.
Yep.
So 77 children saved. Can you just tell us on a very personal level, what was it like when you got to hold one of these children that were saved from death through this ministry? Because I mean, you guys know it is taxing, hard. This is like the hardest ministry you'll ever do. It is awful. It is sometimes scary. It is taxing on you and your family and your church. It's not a pleasant ministry. It's not like a homeless ministry where you give somebody a jacket or a pair of socks and, toothbrush, toothpaste, and some food, where they give you a big hug afterwards and tell you thank you. This is like hostility virtually the entire time,
from Christians as well,
with little moments interspersed of these encouraging moments of Christians coming by and stopping to bless you, or somebody turning away. But I mean, overall, it's a lot of very intense persecution and just hatred coming your way. So can you just give us a real intimate look, and what was it like when you started to experience God showing up and just blessing you by giving you fruit of, here's this woman who's telling you thank you, or this baby in your arms? Can you share that with everybody?
Yeah, so it's really hard to describe, but the first save that we were in contact with her and had her baby, they had twins, and so we were able to go to the hospital and hold twins, and when you're holding that baby, and I just kept thinking, wow, this baby would be in the dumpster, because they would just discarded this baby. But now I'm holding this child in my hands, and it's all because of God's grace to opening my eyes to this, to repenting from my apathy and complacency and being there. And He's blessed me with this opportunity. And if we want to see God move the way that we read about in the Bible, it's at the gates of hell. It's in these places. And where we are persecuted and reviled and all things evil said against us, but it says rejoice, because that's just a tiny microcosm, a little glimpse of what Christ went through for us, and so we get to rejoice in that. And it's like it's in those moments when you have holding a baby, you think, wow, I mean, it's worth all. I mean, it just makes it all worth it,
And isn't it crazy, guys? One of the things that we had said, because we thought this was crazy too, before we started doing it, and so we didn't know what we were doing, except we knew the gospel. We knew we wanted to help these women, so that was it. Our message was, don't murder your babies. Jesus will save you and forgive you if you turn from your sin to trust in Him, and will help you. That's it. Those three things, going out saying that, and we had said initially as a church, like, if we do this our whole lives and we save one child from death, then it's a life well spent. And lo and behold, like, we just start seeing God save dozens of babies through our church and the ministry that we're doing. And now through End Abortion Now and churches like you guys now connected and doing exactly the same ministry, there are thousands of children alive today because of Christians out doing this work. And it's just so amazing to me that, like, one life is worth it. It's worth it for one life. But God is just giving us so much fruit, where we're holding twins in our arms. I got twins running around my church sometimes that were saved from death. Isn't it incredible? It's just humbling.
It is. Yeah, it really is.
So I want to get everybody praying about your court date, October 29th. This is such, let me just say, this is not necessarily like high language here, but this is weak sauce. What a weak attempt to try to stop the ministry of the gospel.
Guys, we read it, and it was bad. Like, the different things that they had described, I mean, it's bad.
Yeah, she said in there that I tell her that she needs to repent and be redeemed and all this.
Oh, what harassment?
Yeah, right. Wow.
Well, let me just say, I trust God that this is just going to get squashed, and I believe God is all over your ministry, and this is not going to thwart God's purposes there at that mill. I trust God to save so many more children, and for God to use you as instrumental at ending abortion in your particular state. So we're prayerful about that. Let me just ask you this. Can you let people know how they can get connected to you and your ministry in particular, and how they can support you?
Yeah, so our website is just One Life for Life, all spelled out, onelifeforlife.org. and then our Facebook page. You can go on there and see a lot of videos. That's just at One Life for Life 365.
Excellent.
Right on.
Excellent. All right, gentlemen. So hopefully we can have you guys back on in a couple of weeks and get an update as to what's going on.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, we think about you guys all the time. We pray about you all the time. We are so grateful to God for all that he's doing and raising you guys up and you guys being a light for him.
Likewise. Appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you, brothers.
Appreciate you guys so much.
All right,
Thank you.
bless you, brothers. God bless. All right.